Hello, 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 beautiful people. So let's talk about this Taurus New Moon, which will be happening exactly a few hours from now. I have been, of course, sitting with the Taurus energies, with all the wonderful things, and I'm really digging this idea of peeling back all these layers of complexity and to get down to the simple truth of things. And ultimately, Taurus, that's exactly what Taurus is all about. Taurus is about simple truth. The simple truth that exists in our breath, the simple truth that exists in the abundance that grows all around us, the simple truth that the past is in the past, the future is yet to be defined, and all that is true, the only true thing, is this present moment. That is the only truth thing. Right here, right now. And I think oftentimes, myself included, we get caught in these stories. And a lot of these stories come from a place of wounding, justifiably so. The hope is that the story, the narrative will eventually become a source of wisdom, right? But sometimes we gotta just put our peace foot forward. Calm is indeed our natural state. Calm is our natural state. And that calm only comes from being here and now, understanding that there's a lot of beautiful goodness available to us right here, right now. Whatever melodramas your mind has or your emotional life is painting, that is not real right now. What is real is this body, is this breath, is this conversation. What is real is that the sun has risen for another day. What is real is tangible. It's practical. We can touch it, feel it, taste it, all the things. And that's what makes Taurus such a wise sage and leader and teacher. You know, when we peel back the layers of what Taurus is truly about, if we were to remove all pop culture astrology from the conversation and that, oh, well, Taurus just wants to sleep, Taurus just wants snacks, Taurus just wants material possessions. And that's not ultimately the case. Taurus aims for that comfort, which is found in the menial, in the practical, in this right here, right now. And as the world gets crazier, as the world gets more advanced and moves quicker, now more so than ever, we need to root ourselves in what is real and what is practical and what is tangible. So I think this new moon arrives at a perfect time where, of course, Uranus just entered Gemini. Mind terrain is going to be accelerated. We're reaching for solutions. Pluto just stationed retrograde in Aquarius as well. So this outward collective conversation is pointing inward. On top of all this Aries fire energy, which is active right now, really motivating us to do something, whatever that something is for us. But the most logical, most clear, most rooted and practical step forward is found in silence. The simplicity of it all, of just, let me be in silence here and let me see what comes through from this moment of presence. Because after all, we have time, friends. We have time. We have so much more time than we think we do. We have a lot more time than we think we do. And yet we get so caught up in these melodramas, in these stories that aren't real. The past is siphoning life force energy in this right now. The future is siphoning life force energy from this right now. But if you want to know the next most logical, practical step to take, well, then we have to peel back all the layers, all the distraction, all the noise, and just come back to this ancient wisdom that lives inside of all of us. It's animalistic. It's instinctual. I'm gonna pull up the chart here so you can see what I'm talking about. I think one of the best metaphors for Taurus is the story of a cat. You know, there's this cat, and right around the corner there is a stray dog that catches a glimpse of this cat, and this dog goes launching at it. The cat runs out of harm's way, because, you know, if they were to stay there, that dog will maul that cat. That dog will do something to that kitty. But the cat finds a yard, a tree to climb up, gets cozy up in that tree. And after 5 minutes or so, the dog looks around, sniffs around. The cat is not accessible in the same way. And the dog goes, great, I'm going to go on with my day. 5 minutes later, the cat comes down from that tree, finds this warm patch of sun near that tree, and they curl up and rest. That, in many ways, is what Taurus is all about. You look at this cat, and within an instant, 5 minutes, what was this very treacherous experience with this animal, with this dog, like about to literally mutilate this cat? Within 5 minutes, this cat still finds it within themselves to curl up, indulge and bask in the beautiful sunlight, get cozy, get warm, and sleep. Now, as humans, we would have taken that whole interaction and wrapped ourselves in like 2 years worth of therapy, because now we have trauma, now there's PTSD, and now it's like, oh, I'm scared that a dog is gonna bite me and attack me. As a human, we turn this situation into such a complex melodrama, when in fact at any moment we can choose peace. We absolutely have it within us to choose peace, to put that peace foot forward. Peace is a choice. Calm is a choice. And that can only come when we let go of the noise, the melodrama, the woundedness, this idea that, all right, well, this happened, so it's going to happen again. Chances are that it won't. The only true thing in life is the present moment. That is the only truth. Right here, right now. Everything else is just noise. Everything else, we have no clue. Everything else is vying and fighting for our attention. But the only true thing is right now. Taurus really understands that. Another thing to understand Taurus energy, yes, we're talking about the bull archetypally with Taurus, but ultimately we're talking about animal instinct. That instinct inside of all of us that enters a room and goes, something's off. Something doesn't smell right here. Something doesn't taste right here. The five senses, right? And how they give us all this information as to yes or no. That is Taurus. The energy of a rabbit in a field, and all of a sudden their ears perk up, they hear something in the distance, and they run away because there's potential predators in their area around them. A lot of us, all of us, have this animal instinct naturally. But we spend so long fighting against this natural instinct because of what? The mind, right? Logicalizing things, causing more confusion, emotions getting in the way. But the body is the wisest sage we have access to. The body knows. The body keeps score. The body senses in ways that our mind never catches up to sometimes. Our emotions are faulty, not the whole truth, but the body is honest, always honest. Now it's up to you what you do with the honesty of your body, right? It's up to you what you do with this ship of sensors, this body that is constantly motivating and pointing us toward what we're aligned with and what we're not aligned with. And that's why a Taurus person has no problem saying no. You ask a Taurus if they want to do something, and they'll tell you right off the jump whether the answer is no or whether the answer is yes. And if their body right away is telling them, no, I don't want to do that, then they're not going to do that. And that's why Taurus people get painted as being stubborn bulls, right? And it's like, it's not stubbornness. It's that they're so in tune with their instinctual pulses from that body that, boom, they say yes, they say no. It's as clear as that. It's not a maybe. It's not a hold on, let me sit with this. No, it's clear. The body is clear. The body knows. The body is sacred. And this animalistic instinct that we have inside of all of us is the pulse that has kept humanity alive in the first place. It's that feeling of our ancestors being out in that grassland and going, I think there's food that way. It's the energy of our ancestors going, I'm tired, I'm going to sleep. There's a story here with Taurus that I think is quite beautiful of this disciple going to the master, going up to the master and going, Master, I want to know the secrets of life. I want to reach enlightenment. Show me the way. And the master simply says, when I'm tired, I sleep. When I'm hungry, I eat. And the disciple says, what? That's it? That's all you have? It's like, yeah, you want to be enlightened? That's it. When I'm tired, I sleep. When I'm hungry, I eat. There's nothing complex about that, right? It is simple and as clear as day. So to understand Taurus and the archetype of Taurus is to just understand and give yourself the ability to live in simplicity. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you for needing a nap. There's nothing wrong with you for needing to eat. Whatever stories, whatever melodramas your body, your mind, your emotions are telling you is not the truth. The simple truth of this right now moment is that if you're watching this stream, if you are here with us, spending time, enjoying time, you're okay. You're good. I don't care what you have to say. You are just fine. There's nothing wrong with you. Now, sometimes we look to the external world to tell us who we are or where we are. But when we give that freedom, that power to others, we'll find that the source of that wisdom is unreliable. The most rooted, the most grounded, the most sustainable source of wisdom comes from your body. Always comes from your body. More often than not, a hell of a lot of our melodramas and emotional turmoil can be solved with simple things. Going out in nature, going out for a walk, touching a tree, petting your dogs, petting your animals, giving a hug to that loved one, having a meal, drinking water, moving the body, stretching the body. Oftentimes, the solution to all the melodramas we carry are found in the body. And it's as simple as that. So, for this lunation, as we're thinking of planting seeds, because it's a new moon, right? New moons are all about planting seeds. As we plant seeds for this new moon, what are we going to plant seeds of? Planting seeds of simplicity. We're planting seeds of simplicity. Planting seeds in the body. Planting seeds, planting reminders to, hey, don't forget to stretch that body. Don't forget to be here, be now. Whatever that is, as these platforms try to fight and vie for our attention. It's not all real. What is real, the only reality, is right here, right now. And that's it. Whatever tension you feel in between that can be stretched. Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. But there is a natural cadence and there's a natural rhythm to life. And that is where we are. When we resist that natural cadence, we are out of alignment with what our body already naturally and innately has access to. When we find ourselves in the natural cycle, we're here, we're good. We're that cat chilling underneath that tree in the sun. Whereas 5 minutes before that, that dog was about to fuck that cat up. 5 minutes later, that cat's like, no more danger. I'm going to take a nap. Trust that your body will respond to danger when actual danger is right there, right in front of you. But in the meantime, there's no use in ruminating on potential dangers, ruminating on potential shadows that aren't actually here. It serves you no purpose. The only truth is here and now. All right? All right, my love. So, on that note, we're going to do some personalized readings today, yeah? We're all booked up for today, but if you would like to book a reading for the future, if you are on Instagram watching live, all you got to do is comment chart in the chat, in the live chat, and I'll go ahead and I'll DM you all my offerings for readings. If you are watching on YouTube, then you can check out the link in the description. There's all of my reading links on there, whether you book a 15-minute mini reading here on a live show or an extended deep dive, which lasts an hour. Those are called soul sessions. It's completely up to you. There's only so much I can cover in 15 minutes. I try my best to be efficient, but if you want that deep dive, if you want to know that karmic mission and how to puzzle piece all the pieces in your chart, then you want to book a soul session, okay? Then you'd want to do that. Just going back and reading some of these comments here. 100%, I've always depended on my body to tell me when to worry. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, friends. So on that note, today, let me go ahead and let you know the lineup. Deborah, Carrie, Sid, and Sandra. Those are our 4 readings today. Okay, 4 readings today, which is great. I'm going to start with Deborah. Deborah, wherever you are, if you're on Instagram or on YouTube, just go ahead and let me know in the chat. That way I know you're here. Ooh, born 3:21 p.m. I love that. We're at the beginning of something in this lifetime. 3:21, angel numbers, baby. They're all around us. Yeah, baby. All right, Deborah, I'm just going to read your notes real quick. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about this. All right, Deborah. Let's see what we have here. All right. So, in continuation from our last conversation and our last mini reading. So, a couple of things are coming online when we're thinking of pioneering something through in regards to career. First, I really want you to look at over the past 12 months or so, we're looking at Jupiter and Cancer in that first house, right? Cancer rising, so much of our love, so much of our heart is opening and cracking open. So much of that Jupiter and Cancer placement has been about the philosophies of love, philosophies of care, and what we really care for. Jupiter has been motivating us to soften that heart and to make that heart available for those things that we care deeply about. Now, all that care, all that philosophy, hopefully it's getting translated into this North Node in Aquarius, which has come into this world in the ninth house of philosophy, in the ninth house of higher learning, in the ninth house of belief building, to really pierce through the noise of social conformity, and to, in many ways, you have a gospel to share. Now, this gospel isn't one that is like, preachy, because that's not Aquarius. But in your observation of being on the outside looking in, if that love were to be in service to the collective greater good, whatever that collective greater good is for you, what would that really look like? Okay, so hopefully in the exploration of that, if you were to intentionally outcast yourself from society, if you were to let go of the yearning for validation, very South Node in Leo energy, and to enter that North Node in Aquarius, which is you've come into this world to push the collective conversation forward, to literally break the systemic chains of social conformity, and to deliver something truthful, something honest, something that plays a little bit of devil's advocate, right? When I'm talking about pioneering some form of a career in this chapter, I want you to think about leadership right now. We have Chiron in Aries sitting in that 10th house, which is asking you here to sit with leadership. You have that sun in Aquarius, right? Who is just like on the outside looking in already. But that sun in Aquarius needs to be a leader in this chapter. Okay? When I talk about pioneering a form of leadership, when you think of leadership and a leadership necessary for this timeline, in this highest timeline, what sort of leader do we need? Ultimately, Aquarius is about decentralized power. That is why during the last Pluto and Aquarius transit, we saw the articles of modern day democracy. These checks and balances, right? The legislative system, the judicial system, the executive system, like all of these systems, when they were created, at the time that they were created, of course, in the conditions they were created in, which, yeah, obviously, slavery was fucked up, colonialism fucked up. But if we were to peel back those layers and to get to the essence, the root of these articles of democracy, what you see is a system that is inherently Aquarian, where power is truly given to the people. Footnote, certain people at that time. Now that Pluto is in Aquarius again, and we're circling around to these themes, right? Same conversation in a different lens. Now we're looking at this conversation of power to the people. And the people are like, all peoples though, right? If all peoples were truly created equal, then why is there inequality in this world that I'm seeing? If we are truly to embody these rules, this declaration of independence, then why don't I feel so independent in this system? And now Pluto is here again, especially as it's hitting that conjunction with that sun in Aquarius in the 8th house of shared resources, in the 8th house of interdependence, giving yourself to others. These themes of, hold on, the checks aren't balancing. The balances are in checking. This isn't what true interdependence looks like. So when I hear or when I look at your chart and I think of pioneering a form of leadership, what does decentralized power look like in the current career you are in? What does it really look like? Because with the midheaven here in Pisces, your crown is Pisces. There's already a softy there. Kind of, we're very malleable. We're very stretchy. And how much of that feels in alignment with the space, with the work field, with the career, the legacy you're building, and how much of it is at odds? Are we martyring ourselves in that workspace? Does it feel in alignment? Does it feel balanced? Or do we need to do the Aries work here right now of pioneering a form of leadership that puts decentralized power at the forefront, that puts interdependence at the forefront? Which means we gotta stop being that hermit, stop being on that outside looking in, stop worrying about rocking the boat. And in a very Aries way, we got to do the brave work of confronting the work environment here so that it meets the evolutionary goal of your entire chart. There's also a concentrated energy here in the 11th house. This 11th house is getting hit. Your community is getting hit, and it's asking you to really be a leader right now. What would it look like for you to lead in community? What would it look like for you to lead in co-creation? There's a reason why the shadows that you're seeing in this 8th house territory, there's a reason why you can't take your eyes off of it. And it's because you're meant to be a part of a space and hopefully a community that is an example of the other, whatever the other is. So when I look at all this energy and pioneering leadership, that's where it lives. What sort of work do you do, Deborah? Like, are you being pushed? Are you being motivated to take charge here? And I really want to pay close attention to how Aries, in a shadow sense, is very dominating, right? It's controlling. It's, I gotta make this situation and force it into being something that I want and I need. But that's not what we're looking at here. We're reinventing the terms and conditions of leadership. We're pioneering a form of leadership that can look at the sort of patriarchal influences of leadership, at its sort of like centralized power, very masculine. And although Aries is masculine, absolutely, what I'm looking at here in this 10th house being hit is a sense of masculinity being brought up to the surface. But this masculinity is different. It's like if you were to take masculinity and bring it to the highest octave, what would it look like? What would it look like for you? I just left the teaching. Okay, I love this. I just left teaching because the education system broke my heart. Now, the truth of the matter is, looking at your chart, you are meant to be a teacher, still in some way, shape, or form. North Node in Aquarius, 9th house of higher education. Aquarius is very logical, very systematic, very liturgical as well. They're the architect, the lawyer, they're the systems builder in an intellectual sense, right? Through their words. Whereas Capricorn is an architect as well, physically. Aquarius, who is also ruled by Saturn traditionally, is systems building with our words, with the decree, with the declaration. So I would say here that education, that teacher part of you is not for, it wasn't for, like, it was for something. Now we get to ask ourselves, how do I, like, now that we know what this education system, its flaws, and now that we've figured out, like, wow, I don't feel in alignment with it, pioneering, how could you, with your gifts, with your network, I think network is really important here, especially with Aquarius, with your network, pioneer an education system that we need right now. Now, that can be working with little kiddos, sure, or it can be maybe we're creating an education system for adults, maybe for parents, to help them teach their kids? What sort of critical thinking skills are we building and fostering and nurturing? Education is always going to be a beating drum for you, especially with that North Node in Aquarius and that 9th house of higher education. But instead of looking at what's not working and going, that's not working, and I feel forced, I feel like I can't do anything, I feel stuck. No, what's not working is an opportunity for you to pioneer what could work. That is what we're looking at here, okay? That is what we're looking at here. So I want you to put your brave pants on, your brave armor on. I want you to start thinking outside the box here of like, great, who can I collaborate with? Who can I bring in? Who do I feel comfortable and safe with? What network have I already generated? And what can we do together as a community to educate others in this world that is only changing even more? Like, y'all, it's gonna get crazier. We're gonna need education. Education is going to be one of the most valuable assets to help humanity forward, as literal education is being monetized. Pretty soon knowledge is going to be a luxury. And there's so much of that with that North Node in Aquarius that goes, no, knowledge is for all. Knowledge is for the people. Okay? There's a reason why this rings true. My mind is working, absolutely. All right, love? I'm glad we got there. But that's what I have for you for now. Also, like, we have to get a soul session on the books. There's only so much I can cover in a 50-minute session. But if you ever want to do a soul session in the future, we can really sit down and like talk about as well. There's aspects here we haven't even gotten into. But that's what I have. I thank you for asking, and also thank you for coming back for a chart room reading. I appreciate you. Great. Onward and upward. We're moving onward to Carrie. Carrie, where are you at, love? Just let me know you're here, so I know you're ready. And I'm pulling up your chart right now. Just gonna read your notes real quick here, Carrie. Yep. Great. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we got here for you, love. I'm looking for Oleander Buckley 6165. That's the screen name I'm looking for. Oleander Buckley 6165, wherever you are in the world. Either way, the replay will be posted on of this on my YouTube channel, so I'm going to continue with the reading in the interest of time. So, questions here. First, you've had an astrologer. I saw in your notes you had an astrologer that told you you're here to master polarity. I would say, on top of all of that, you're here to master relationship, connection, the sort of energy of the vulnerability of allowing yourself and giving yourself that space to become one with another person as well. Now, I would say this is a lot of what your astrologer was telling you in regards to that was your North Node in Libra. It's North Node in Libra. North Node is that North Star, is what we're meant to grow into. And all that astrology is are these perfect opposites, the polarity of it all, the this and the that. And astrology is the art of getting them to find that middle area, the gray area. Okay. Now, when I look at a South Node in Aries, we're amplifying the shadow of Aries, right? And the shadow of Aries, we talked a little bit about it in the previous reading. Control, dominance. It is the need to always be right. It's this energy of me first, always putting yourself first. And it's defensiveness as well, and offensiveness. Aries, when they feel cornered, they attack. There's a reason why Aries is attributed to being the god of war, right? God of war. Aries, confrontation, conflict, all of those things. Now, the house tells you the environment where this South Node is most comfortable in, and it's in the 12th house of solitude. So I would say here, you're really good at being the Lone Ranger. You're really good at just keeping to yourself. And in that, in a past life, we died alone, basically. We were alone, we died alone, and a lot of the sort of life cycles of connection and those lessons of being connected to other people, we left this world still having that need. We didn't trust people as easily. And we didn't trust that we can be ourselves, whatever our self is in relationship as well. So now that you know what yourself is and who yourself is, how do we bring that into relationship, which is that North Node in Libra? Anytime we're looking at Aries and Libra, we're looking at the axis of me, Aries, and we or us, Libra. I would say Libra as in love, Libra as in relationships, Libra as in Venus. We had a lifetime of feeling like the world was out to get us. We, in many ways, were out to get us in that 12th house as well of solitude. So in that, we saw the world as if we were constantly under attack, right? But North Node in Libra looks to others and sees others as a mirror of self. In fact, needs others to mirror oneself. So when we look at 12th house of solitude, the best environment for you to really work this North Node in Libra is in the 6th house of service. It's the 6th house of service, the 6th house of the day in, day out, unglamorous work of life. It's to make life a moving prayer, to make life a moving prayer with others as well. So much of your evolutionary mission in this lifetime is to also be able to find an unmovable, unshakable peace in yourself and in others, in the work that you do. So I would encourage you here to start exploring acts of service that require other people, that requires a level of relationship building that you in turn beautify through that North Node in Libra. Now, South Node in Aries is not inherently all wrong. The goal here is to bring the comfort zone of that South Node in Aries to that North Node in Libra, which says we can be in relationship with one another and you're not taking anything from me by being in relationship with you. So much of that North Node in Libra is to do the work of compromise and balance. That for all of us to get along sometimes means we have to entertain the needs of other people as well. And it's a beautiful gift. It's a beautiful thing to be able to sacrifice self for others. Now, on the flip side of it all, it can get a little wonky. Sometimes we're too self-sacrificing of self for others. Sometimes we're not sacrificing of self enough for others. That gray area, to get to that gray area, requires a level of finesse and tact and awareness, intentional awareness of oneself, so that we can get to that gray area where, okay, this feels good, this feels awesome, this feels amazing. I love what I'm getting from this relationship, and I can tell that the other really loves what they're getting from this relationship. We're looking at that. We're also looking at extremes here through that North Node in Libra, because we have Uranus here in Scorpio. Uranus being that planet of like shock, all of a sudden, twists and turns in Scorpio. Like there's some shadow things that we see, right? There's some shadows that we probably see in others, but not all those shadows are inherently true. I think there's so much of you that probably understands how codependent relationships can become from time to time. And it's important for you to establish a sense of freedom in relationship as well. But polarity, duality, yin and yang, those are the themes of Libra, being able to hold two things. And sometimes you have to hold one thing a little longer than the other thing. And this juggling acts of sorts. Relationships are needed. Relationships serve as a mirror of oneself. There's only so much work you can do on yourself. That's the other thing I really want to offer. And the work that you do with yourself, on yourself, in that 12th house, where you got Taurus, you got Aries here as well, can only go so far in solitude. You need direct contact with others to know how much of this work is actually sticking. Which means opening your heart. Opening your heart. Opening your heart. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel love. You deserve to rely on others. And others can show you just how reliable they are. Relationships aren't out to get you. They're not here to rob your sense of freedom either. They're not trying to take from you. And you can trust your instinct when it's like, okay, cool, this relationship is probably trying to take something from me. It's not as reciprocal. You can trust that instinct, but you gotta also discern how much of that is really instinct and how much of that is paranoia as well. Like all of your relationships, they're not out to get you. They're not your enemy. Okay? So that's what I'm looking at here. In regards to polarity, we're stretching, we're giving up control, and we're surrendering to the beautiful collaborations that are present. We're allowing those collaborations to come through. And we're trusting ourselves in service to these relationships as well. That's the gift of North Node Libra, is when you really start to realize that relationships aren't trying to take anything from you. I think if anything, they're trying to show you just how lovable and how beautiful and how wonderful you actually are. Can you receive that? Can you receive from others? Can you let others pour into you as well? Because you pour a lot into yourself, which is great. But sometimes it's nice to be able to go, you know what, y'all? I don't have it in me to pour into myself right now. I need help. I need help. We got to be able to rely on each other, right? Thank you for being a friend. Do 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 do. Golden Girls. Golden Girls, baby. I love it. All right, friend. So that's what I have for you. Thank you for your contribution, of course. Thank you for saying yes and giving me the opportunity to read your chart. We're going to move onward and upward here. We got 2 more chart readings for today. Sid, you are on deck, my love. Sid, you are on deck. And then lastly, we have Sandra. We'll close there. Onward and upwards. Sid, let's see what you have, dear. Oh. Okay, I love this. I love this. Great conversation already. All right, Sid. So I know you're here because I saw you in the chat. I love that you're talkative. I appreciate everybody. Please be talkative in the chat. Talk to each other. You can add to this conversation too. It's not just me. I encourage you to add to it as well. Like, be as talkative here. There's nothing wrong with chatting it up. And for you, Sid, I would encourage a lot more chatting it up. Honestly. So I would encourage that anytime we feel like directionless in life, which is a signature of that South Node in Sagittarius, that we really start asking more questions here. South Node in Sagittarius, amplifying the shadow here, of course. South Node in Sagittarius comes with the questions, existential questions of like, what does life mean? What am I doing? How am I moving? What are the answers to life? Like, how do I, like, what? Give me the answer. Give me the source. I would say in a past life, you lived in a probably very dogmatic way. You lived in like every day. You woke up, you did this, you did that. It was very rooted. It was very regimented. Discipline was a spiritual practice for you. You know, there were a lot of rules. There were a lot of restrictions. There were a lot of like, okay, day in, day out, this is life. And that felt good for a while until it didn't, until you started realizing that all of these rules, all this like trying to find just the one answer to life limited you from experiencing the many questions life has to offer. And that is the antidote and the medicine of that North Node in Gemini. Gemini comes into this life with questions. It is the perpetual, child sitting in the back seat of the parents' car going, why is the sky blue? Why is the grass green? Why is this? Where's this? Why? Just constantly. And somewhere along the way, you just stopped giving yourself the permission to ask why. Curiosity, my love, is an amazing religion. And that is what we're looking at here in this lifetime, is to move from trying to find the answer to indulging in the many fractalizations of God, source, creator, spirit. It's to be a eternal student of life. We're not trying to be a preacher in this lifetime. We're not trying to follow a Bible in this lifetime. And if anything, we're looking to open up the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, all the many different scriptures that life has to offer, and to then, in a very Gemini way, connect the dots and find the pattern and find the string of it all. And that is what we need now more than ever, to remove ourselves from indoctrination, which South Node in Sagittarius understands indoctrination. No, to be a good person is to be this. You must know your purpose in life. We're not doing that anymore. We're not looking for purpose in life. We're looking for purpose. Multiplicity. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think you would really benefit from giving yourself the permission to just open up all the fucking tabs. That's what makes life so wonderful. That's what makes life so exciting. It's our curiosity. And yet, we're applying all this pressure to figure out the one thing. If I figure out the one thing, then I'll know what I need to do in life. Then I'll know what my purpose is, and then I'll feel okay. But you've done that. You've done the one thing. You've been the one thing. And this life is about being the many things. In the 12th house of spirituality, in the 12th house that exists far beyond the physical realm, Gemini here, we're learning astral projection, we're learning lucid dreaming, we're like curiously entertaining and exploring what lives beyond physical reality. And I want you to try that on from a space of just like, whoa, this is cool. I want to collect the data. I want to collect all the information. There's a lot that we do not know, and that's a beautiful gift. It's a beautiful gift to be a multi-dimensional being. It's a beautiful gift to stretch beyond whatever the world is telling you you have to be. That right there that you asked, what's that? How does that work? That is the pulse of that North Node in Gemini. What's that? How does that work? I'm going to Google it. I'm going to search it. I'm going to take a class in it. I'm going to become a student of that. Because there's a lot more that we do not know. And so much of that South Node in Sagittarius is trying to force you into this is life, period. And North Node in Gemini is like, fuck that. This is life, ... On the epitaph, in your eulogy, whatever, when you leave and you expire this world, I want you to surrender to an ellipsis. Your life is an ellipsis. It's not a period. It's not an exclamation point. Your life here is meant to have many, many footnotes. That is what the North Node in Gemini is all about. Footnotes. And you'll find when you're trying to find and figure out the one thing, when you start trying to like, am I in the direction? Am I on the right path? That's South Node in Sagittarius. The North Node in Gemini question is, what's the next path? That should be exciting. Instead of heavy. What's the next path? We're talking about the neural network. We're talking about the many branches the brain has and how it all connects. And how exciting is it to just like, well, I'm going to focus on this branch. And then that branch is going to lead me to that one and that one and that one and that one. Fun. Exciting. You're a gabber. You're a communicator. You came into this life to explore spirit in all its forms, not in one form, in the many shapes and sizes spirits takes. And when you gather the data and you gather the information, then you start talking about it. That is when you really start seeing yourself in everything, because it is all connected. But so much of your life in this lifetime is to explore all the many branches that connect us all to that one. Can we be okay with that? Can we be okay with that? Some comments coming in here. That would be a great tombstone. The end date is just ... Yep. Even better. Instead of an end date, to be continued. Yes, that is Gemini. That is Gemini here. It is to be continued. To be continued. That is it. So many forms, so many different reflections. And that is great. Curiosity is your compass with North Node in Gemini. Curiosity is your compass. Now in the 12th house, we're talking about the curiosity that lives when the lights go off, free from these screens, free from all that influence. Like when you're really left with yourself and you like go spiritually spelunking into all that is you. That is 12th house territory. And there are many tools and modalities to help you deeply go into those subconscious, subterranean realms. And that is where North Node in Gemini goes, great, I'm going to explore. That's why I offered lucid dreaming or astral projection, any sort of, what's it called? Gosh, the word is escaping me. Altered state of consciousness. Any form of like, any practices that help you tap into an altered state of consciousness. I think North Node in Gemini can really get you into that, you know? So that's That's what I would focus on for you, dear. Yeah. Obviously, there's more. There's always more. There's still a lot of 11th house Aries energy and all that, but in relationship to just what you just shared in the notes, I feel like that is probably the clearest message I can give you right now. Okay? That's it. We're moving to questions. We're moving to asking those questions. Instead of trying to find one answer, we're on a quest of questions. We're on a quest of multiple. You're going to leave this world and you're going to still have questions. Like, and how exciting. How exciting. That's exactly where you will pick up in the next lifetime. Okay? Spiritually spelunking. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just wanted to address a comment here. Join the collective New Moon workshop. Are there personal readings part of it? Or did I misunderstand? So if you join my collective, which is my private membership community, every new moon cycle, every full moon cycle, eclipse cycle, I do personalized readings that I record as these like audio transmissions, like an audio love letter. If you open up the app and go over to the library tab, you should see horoscopes and workshops. In there, you'll go ahead and click on the transit you want to listen to and just find your sun sign, find your rising sign, completely up to you. Listen to both and see if the messages resonate. So those are the personalized readings that are included in my collective membership. So thank you for asking that. Oh, I have a list of questions to ask on those, to ask those on the other side. Yeah, I'm excited for you, Sid. Congratulations. Do that North Node work. We got Uranus in Gemini right now, so it's really activating this 12th house. It's not in conjunction with that North Node in Gemini. We still have some time. I would say once Uranus really hits this North Node in Gemini, like be prepared for like an aha moment, like holy shit, I didn't see that coming. Like understanding like this Uranus and Gemini transit for you, Sid, is going to mark a huge chapter in your life. Any Uranus and Gemini transit, we're looking at themes of innovation and pushing humanity forward and like these sort of technological communication breakthroughs that help bridge, you know, and connect us to one another. For you, we're talking about connection to the spirit, though, connection to the ethereal, connection to what we can't physically see. So I think there is something here where like we get closer to, you know, those questions around spirituality, and not necessarily an answer, but to a yes and in many ways. Definitely the signature of this Uranus and Gemini in your 12th house right now. Okay, sweet. All right, friends, so we got one more reading for today. Thank you, Sid. It's so great to have had the opportunity to read for you. Gonna put this last reading up. We have Sandra. Do 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 do. Alrighty. It's beautiful. Okay. Beautiful. Sandra or Sandra, wherever you are. Yes, comedy, absolutely. Yes, and. Oh, thank you for the love here, friends. Appreciate you. All right, so Sandra, wherever you are, the screen name I'm looking for is Sandra Weiss 112. Either way, you will get the replay of this afterwards. Let's talk relationship, yeah? Let's talk about relationship. Let's talk about the implications of relationship and what to look out for. First, the one thing that's coming to mind is whatever's happening in your career is going through massive shifts and innovation. Like, it's really fun. You have Gemini in the crown of your chart, so the sort of legacy you end up building is, again, to echo some of that North Node Gemini quality. It's meant to have multiple passions, multiple interests. You need a career that really stimulates you. You need a career that really makes you feel like excited and curious and that pushes you forward. So hopefully whatever career shifts are happening in that area and department. We have Venus in Gemini here as well, which says like we're learning something new in career. We're learning what we value in our career as well right now. So if it's in that direction, great. In regards to relationship and how to make relationships work for you, a couple things I'm looking at. I'm looking at where your Venus lives, which is the planet of relationship, and I'm also looking at your 7th house of relationship. Now, for a while, we had North Node in Pisces in the 7th house of relationship. Pisces in the 7th house needs a dream, needs an idea of what a partner is, what a partner looks like, feels like. So if we are ready for a relationship, I would encourage you to do some emotional daydreaming to bring the ideal qualities of that partner online, and not from a place of like, oh man, I wish this person were available. I wish I had this partner. No, we're talking about emotional daydreaming from a place that like excites you. You want to be excited about calling in that ideal person. I would say with Pisces in the 7th house as well, that ideal person is very much someone who shares at least some spirituality with you. And it doesn't have to be exactly like you, but someone who has a little bit of a mystic in them, someone who has a little bit of that sparkle, of that spice. I would say it probably is a person you end up meeting in the work that you do as well. At least maybe right now, maybe you start seeing like, okay, cool, there's someone you might be interested in that workplace who is piquing your curiosity. I would encourage exploring that department. Absolutely. And with your natal Venus in Capricorn, the type of relationship you end up building is not just with anyone. We're talking about really building a home with someone you really love. Make sure that whoever it is you end up finding has those Capricorn qualities, which is that of has their shit together to a certain extent, has a legacy that they're really passionate about building, also shares those same interests in building a physical home with you. Hell, dare I say, buying a house, having children, whatever that is. Like really rooting and creating something stable. You want someone who is a rock, especially with Venus in Capricorn. You want someone who feels and fills that divine masculine energy. Okay, we're moving away from South Node Cancer territory, which is just like feeling like you have to do everything for everyone, emotionally take care of everyone, to North Node Capricorn. No, practical. You came into this life to really build a grounded legacy for yourself and in turn with someone else as well. So interestingly enough, the sort of relationship we're looking for is someone who deeply understands the spiritual influences and components of discipline, of structure, who doesn't shy away from that structure as well, who understands practically that sometimes emotions get in the way. You want to attract a partner who is self-sufficient in their own right, who is also open to grow and improve all of those many wonderful qualities as well. And we're not looking for a project. We're not looking for a project. South Node Cancer, baby. Gosh. We see someone who is in need and we immediately take it upon ourselves to satiate and fulfill that need. But that's not what we're doing anymore. We're looking for someone who can also take care of themselves. And, you know, some people need to soften. Like if you had a North Node in Cancer and a South Node in Capricorn, I'd be like, okay, babe, some of the work here is to soften and to allow also the emotional reality of other people in. Soften the heart, right? But the North Node Capricorn mission is to, okay, have boundaries around that heart. Have boundaries around that space. Like the heart also comes with expectations, and those expectations have to be clear right off the jump so that we're not emotionally willy-nilly getting ourselves in cahoots with folks who cannot meet us at that standard. I would also say that your standard is not high here, especially with Venus and Capricorn. Your love language, it's practical, babe. Your love language, it's money, it's resources, it's security, it's a beautiful home that you end up building together. Your love language lives in those acts of service, right? Okay. And that is a sort of love you want in return, I would say, with that Venus in Capricorn, right? While also having the softness and the dreaminess that is that 7th house Pisces as well, of just like, yeah. Like, I want you to fall in love with the idea of that potential person first. I want you to fall in love with, wow, and we're building this together. Like Venus and Capricorn, it's Beyonce, Jay-Z energy. It's building an empire. Okay? Whatever that is. It's building an empire. It's building a space that feels like, yeah, this is the work. Like Sun in Capricorn too. Like, you want a rock. I would say a soft rock. I would say clay. That's what we're attracting here. We're attracting clay. Clay is wonderful in the sense that it's malleable, it's moldable, it's shapeable. It's not a rock that takes a hell of a lot of effort. No, clay, I think, is the perfect synergy between Pisces and Capricorn. Yeah, you want something you can mold and you can shape and you can build. But you also want it to be malleable and to take form and shape depending on all the change that happens. All right? And I think also I would add attracting an ideal person who is very much okay and comfortable and celebrates your success. You're looking at someone who celebrates your success as well and is okay with you being a successful person. That is hard sometimes for people being in relationship with others. You want someone who sees your excellence, who sees what you're creating in this world and goes, fuck yeah, I celebrate that with you, babe. I celebrate you in it. Also, I made dinner at home. You've been working hard today. You've done a lot. Here, let me take care of you. All of that beautiful Cancer South Node energy that you pour so effortlessly into others, that's the sort of person you want in your life. That's clay, you know? We're not looking for, I know in the beginning of the reading I said we're looking for a rock. I want to retract that. Because, like, of course, as the reading is going, we're seeing more of your chart. Well, not necessarily a rock. We're looking for that clay. Nice clay. Good red clay. All right? Now, a couple of things that I would say as well in regards to all of that is the sort of relationship you end up attracting is not traditional by any means. It's not a traditional, although the values that you bring and desire in relationship are traditional. I would say it's not traditional in the sense of like the dynamic of it all. Whatever relationship you end up finding yourself in, I hate to be like binary in this way, but there's part of that Capricorn energy of just like, I wear the pants. I'm the breadwinner, baby. Of course, I'm exaggerating the Capricorn archetype here, but that feeling of just like your work is really important to you, right? How you work is really important to you. I would say maybe it's worth exploring a partner whose work is equally as important to them as well. Or maybe someone who is just like so in admiration of your work, so in admiration of what you bring to the table, and is that sort of receptive, feminine counterpart to that Capricorn energy that is you as well. So that's what I'm seeing here. I'm happy to hear we're in a space where we're ready to explore partnership. Absolutely. But, with that Venus in Capricorn, don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. If it's it, if it's not it. Don't settle for something that doesn't have the entirety of what you want, which means we got to do the Pisces dream work of like, great, these are the qualities of that person. This is how exciting it feels to when I'm with them. I feel this when we do this together. We build this together. This is what it looks like when we wake up in the morning together. And like, I want you to take yourself on that Piscean daydream first, and then watch how everything else falls into place. All right. All right. Well, on that note, my friends, happy new moon. We've done it. We're here. We're at the end of our personalized readings. I encourage you all for this new moon in Taurus to just get simple with it. Peel back all those layers and get simple. Get rooted in the honest truth of it all, that there's a lot of beautiful things around us. The only truth is this present moment. It's up to you to peel back those layers, the melodrama of it all, and just be here now. To quote Baba Ram Dass, be here now. That's it. Happy new moon. I love you all. Say goodbye to everybody in the space before heading out, because that's a gift. We spent a lot of time here together, and I'll see you soon. I'll see you very, very soon. Love you all, friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're welcome, Sandra.